What's good, YouTube? It's your boy SK Bands, and today, man, we got a special first video for y'all. What I'm gonna be doing is building my first PC. So it's basically gonna be a tutorial for y'all who wanna know how to build a PC and the whole process of everything. So, first and foremost, all you need really is a Phillips screwdriver, your tools, and then your parts, man. So I'm gonna go through the basic parts that you guys are gonna need. So of course you're gonna need your case to hold everything together. Your CPU. I'm running an AMD Ryzen 7 3700X. This case, I forgot to mention the case, but you guys can see it. MidTower H510. It's an NZXT case. And then your graphics card. These two are the most important things: the CPU and the graphics card. So I'm running an NVIDIA Geforce RTX 2070 Super. Is also overclocked as well, so that's really good for like gaming and streaming. All right, then we have our RAM sticks. I'm running 32 gigs of RAM. The brand is Trident Z G-Skill. It's RGB as well, so you feel me, it's gonna light up in the case and everything. It's gonna look real cool. As far as my space, I'm running, I don't use a hard drive, I'm using SSD instead. It's way better in my opinion. And for those who's gonna run SSD, I suggest you run NVME PCIe, because you could just plug it right into the motherboard. It's easy to put in, you feel me? So yeah, I'm running a Sabrent 1 terabyte SSD. My motherboard, here's my motherboard right here. ASUS Tough B450M Pro Gaming. Very good motherboard. And it also works well with AMD Ryzen, as you see right here. It has the little label right there, AMD Ryzen 3000 desktop right there. My power supply, you always want to make sure you have a good power supply just to keep everything running, so it can have everything moving smooth throughout the whole PC. So I'm running the RM750X. If you guys are going to get a Corsair power supply, I suggest always get the RMX series instead of the regular RM. And then I have some extra cooling fans in here. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And we just about to get the building. Okay, so first step of the process, guys, is we're gonna work on our motherboard. So we're gonna insert our CPU first. So here we have our processor, our AMD Ryzen 7 processor. And you wanna hold it very gentle on the sides because it has these pins on the back. And with these pins, if any one of them bend or anything like that, it can kill the whole CPU and you're gonna have to get a whole new one. So if you look on the back of the processor, it has this golden arrow, which indicates with the motherboard on how to place it. So you see I have the bracket up already. It'll come like this. You want to lift your bracket up, hold it very gentle, and you literally just place it down just like that. And then you just put your bracket down and our processor's in. Okay, so now that our processor's on, we're going to put on our heat sinking fan. So on the back of the fan, it already has thermal paste pre-added, so good thing you don't have to put any thermal paste. And then for the 3700X heat sinker, it has these hooks on the back instead of like the screw-ons. So you want to just place it very gently and then hook on the hooks onto the retention hooks on the motherboard. So it can be a little tricky sometimes. So what I do, if you guys notice, I unscrewed it a little bit so that I can hook it on one side, because one side seems to be shorter than the other. This side is longer, this side is shorter. So I just unhooked one side a little bit for the shorter side, and then the longer side is, you feel me? So we're gonna put that on. Okay guys, I apologize, but my dog was making noise in the background. So for the CPU, it comes with this 4-pin header right here for the fan. So if you look right here above, like at the top somewhere, you should see it say CPU fan. So we're just gonna go ahead and plug that in right there. And remember, it's kind of notched right here, so it can only go in one way. So we're gonna put our CPU fan in right here. And just like that, our CPU is installed. All right, so step 2 of the process, we're gonna insert our memory, our RAM sticks. So we have our 2 RAM sticks here and our RAM slots right here. So you see we have 4 RAM slots, but we have 2 RAM sticks. So you're probably wondering, where do I put the RAM sticks in? Which slots do it go in? So we're working with a Ryzen CPU and an ASUS Tough motherboard. So particularly if you look, you see the in the asterisk, you'll see B2 and A2. Those are the slots that you want to put your RAM sticks in. So we're gonna open the RAM slots, and it's kind of, if you look very closely, you see we have our RAM sticks is notched, and then it's like a slight curve, so it can only go in one way as well. So you want to put it in. It goes this way, I believe. You want to push in your RAM stick until you hear that click sound, and then it's going to automatically close. Our RAM slot is in. Put in the other one. Hold up. You want to make sure you put it in straight down. Okay, now we have both of our RAM slots in. Alright, so we're gonna insert our SSD. So if you go in the box of your motherboard, you're gonna see a little baggie with 2 sets of these. So here's your adapter for your SSD, and then this is the screw in, and then here's our SSD. So if you come right here, I don't know if you can zoom in some right here. So you see these 3 little circles, these 3 little holes. It indicates the size of your SSD card, or you can either know it on the box of your SSD as well. So like my box, I have a 2280 SSD, which is most SSD chips. So these little holes indicate, like right here I have 2280, 2260, and 2242. So I'm running a 2280 SSD, so we're just gonna insert our adapter into the 2280 slot. Screw that in right there. Okay. And then we're just gonna insert our SSD as so. Just, you feel me? Push it in. I put it in like a little diagonal. See, it's like up a little bit. And then after you push in your SSD, you want to just push it down and screw in the screw into the adapter. Okay, so our next step will usually be to just insert the motherboard into the case. You see I have my case here. I already took off the front panel and the back panel and everything. I took off the PCIe covers on the side right here, and I already inserted my ASUS Tough IO shield. It comes with the motherboard. All you have to do really is just pop it in here until you hear that little click sound, and that's it. So what I'm gonna do here before I insert the motherboard, you see the case comes with 2 channel fans already. I'm gonna remove these fans and insert some extra fans that I bought here, just because I think it's gonna look cooler with the case and everything. I have some RGB fans in here. So I'm just gonna take those out, insert these real quick, and then we're gonna insert our motherboard. Okay guys, so I replaced the fans, very easy, screw in, screw out. So now we're gonna insert our motherboard. So if you look inside the case here, we have these little ports where you align your motherboard with. And then make sure you have the IO shield placed in there, because it's easier to align your motherboard with the HDMI slots and everything. So we're gonna do that right now. Just easy, 1, 2, 3. Put in your motherboard. And just like that, our motherboard is in. Now we just have to screw it in. Okay, so we got our motherboard in. So now we just lift up our case. Make sure everything is sturdy, nothing should be falling off. And it's good. So now we're gonna insert our graphics card. So that's the reason for taking off the PCIe cover, because you wanna align your graphics card as you put it in. So I had to take off 2 and 3 for mine, so just take off yours accordingly. Yeah, so you just take off the PCIe covers and then the slots for it. So inserting the graphics card is very easy. You literally just align it to where it should be placed, and then you just push it until you hear the click. And just like that, our graphics card is in. All right guys, so now we're gonna work on our power supply. So it's very simple. You see right here on the back of the power supply, we have some plugs that are labeled. So we're just gonna put in the corresponding plugs into the back of the power supply, and then we're gonna insert it in our power supply. So here we have our 24 pin. So here's our 20 plus 4 right here. So we're just gonna put that part in like that. Very simple. Make sure they're all the way in. And then this one goes on this side. And that's our 20+4 pin right there. Now on the bottom we have our 6+2 PCIe, which is right here. So let me show you guys the 6+2 PCIe. So here's our 6+2 PCIe. This is the part that goes into the power supply, and this is the part that will go into the motherboard. So the reason it's called 6+2 is because it has this right here, the 6 PCIe, and then it has an extra 2 for if you have an 8. So that's if you want to put them together. So that's how you know which side to put in which. We just insert our 6 right here. Again, make sure it's all the way in. Perfect. And then our 4+4 CPU. So the side that says CPU, we're gonna put into the CPU section of the motherboard. So we're just gonna insert this in right here, so. All right, and then you wanna make sure when you put it in the power supply, put it in with the fan facing down. Always put it in with the fan facing down. So our power supply goes right here, so. Again, fan facing down, and then we're just gonna screw it in. Screw it in as so, with the 2 screws right here that correspond to the power supply. All right, okay, the power supply is in. Now it's time to work on some cables. So we're gonna start off with our fans just to get them out the way, because if we don't get them out the way now, it will be a pain to get them in later. So we have our channel fan 1 right here. Let me get it through. And for this motherboard is right under the CPU fan. So you'll see it'll say channel fan 1. And this is a 3-pin slot. So on our motherboard it's a 4-pin, but it doesn't matter. It still goes in one way with the notch. So you line it up with the notch on the top of the plug, and you just put it in as so. Let me get it in there. All right. That should be a simple push. Hold on. Can't really see. Okay. All right. Fan 1 in. Now time for fan 2. So channel fan 2 is all the way over here. So I'm not sure if fan 2 is going to long enough. So I'm just gonna put it in from the inside. it's just a matter of pushing it in. All right, got both fans in. All right, guys, so don't mind any chaos now. You see I have Velcro straps here and whatnot. I'm gonna organize all my wires in a neatness later. I'm just gonna show you guys where to put it in for now, and we're just gonna get everything in and make sure that it works. So our power supplies, we have our 20+4 right here, and it can literally go in one spot. It's the biggest spot right here. So you're just gonna push that in, plug it in right there. Okay. Make sure that's in all the way. Then we have our 4+4 CPU pin. So let me get that through. Our CPU goes right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's the top left. Alrighty. So we're gonna put that in. It's so very simple. Push it in. Make sure it's all the way in there. Hear that click. Okay. And now our PCIe, our 6+2. We put it into our graphics card right here. So we have a 6 right here. Then we have an 8 right here. So for the 8, let me bring this around a little bit. Matter of fact, let me put it over. Just to save myself the trouble. Okay, so we have our 6 right here. Gonna put in one of our 6s right here. Okay. So, yep. Put in the extra 2. Push that in. And then we have another 6. Just push it in. All right. And then this little 2 could just strap it on or something later. And now we have everything inserted into our graphics card. And yep. Now we're just gonna work on the cases that came with the wire. Okay, guys. So now we have some wires that came with our case here. So here we have our USB 3.0 Gen 2, I believe, Gen 2. And then we have our front panel wire and our HD audio wire. And then there's another one over here. Let me show you guys right now. That came with the case that we won't be plugging in. And I'll tell you guys why in a minute. So this is the USB 3.0 Gen 2. And this is Gen 1. So this is with like other like CPUs or depending on your motherboard what you're using and things like that. So we won't be using that. We won't have no need. So first we're gonna plug in our HD audio. So if you look down here, you'll see a slot that says AAFP. That's where we'll be plugging in our HD audio. And if you look on it, it's like a little space or whatever, so you know which way to put it in. It only goes in one way. So it goes in right here. All right, now we have our USB 3.0, and it's literally only one spot can go in. It's the biggest port on here. So you see it has a little notch on the bottom of it, so it's very easy to put in. If you're ever like needing to take this out or anything, just be careful with it because it can easily break. It gets pretty stuck in there, so you have to be gentle taking it out. have our USB 3.0 in, and then our front panel. So we're gonna insert our front panel right next to the USB 3.0. It said, I believe it says F panel there. Let me get some flash for you guys. Yeah, so if you guys look very closely on the bottom of it, it says F_panel. That's where we're gonna put our front panel cord. Right there next to the USB 3.0. Let me see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. It's in there. Now that we have all our cords in and everything, the main cords in, it's time to, before we close everything, that's basically the PC build, we're gonna make sure that everything works. All right, guys, so day 2, we back at it. So we did everything correctly, but however, we was having some technical difficulties because the power button on my case wasn't working. So I had to return it and get a brand new one. So we took everything out, put it back in and so we're gonna test to see if it works before we close everything up. So here we go right here. Turn our power supply on. And then we turn our power button on for our PC. And there it goes. So that's the PC right there, guys. So you hook it up to your monitor, and then yeah, you just install Windows, and yeah, you got yourself a PC. So if you guys enjoyed the video or found it helpful or learned anything from it, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I got some more content for you guys. And yeah, that's it.
Let that shit ride, 88.
Mentality with hustler, I'ma run it up, roll to me. No, I ain't gotta make a move, I can make 100 right now, I'm saying. You couldn't even stand on the words you said, and if the shit was real. Can't tolerate fake love, if you on that shit, I don't even want no dealings. Money can't make me, I'm be the same.